Hi guys, it's still October the 1st. We're outside Kasia's studio. We've got a couple more guests have arrived this evening. Amy, Didge.
Hello.
I'm Jim still.
And we have no idea why we're here.
No, well you'll find out now. So, quick straw poll, quick survey. Have you seen anything like that recently?
Yeah.
Loads.
Lots. Yeah.
And did that actually persuade you to visit some of the Devon Open studios recently?
Not really, no.
So you've seen them, but...
The truth is, we would have visited the Open studios, but we had guests and we were really busy, and we just weren't able.
We would
sadly, because we would have, and we would have come up here, and
yeah.
So
I think it's a good locator.
Yeah, I do too.
I would have, all the way from Buckfastleigh to Totnes, there were many of those, and I was really tempted to go and check them out, not knowing what I was going to find. So as a thing that you use to locate studios that you would never have known were there, then I think it's obvious.
And I quite liked seeing, you know, in the strangest places, the evidence of there being art, and not just in an art gallery, but in people's houses. So I like that actually was the evidence.
And have you actually seen the catalogue?
Yeah, we got two of them.
You've got two of them, and you've got some crossed off, but haven't actually seen them yet.
Yeah, well, just as I say, because we were inundated with visitors.
Have you ever seen Greg Ramsden's stuff?
No.
He's on the cover.
No.
No? He's down his specially created for Devon Open Studios. Whoops. This is a joint effort between Kasia and myself.
Okay.
Right. So, as you may recall, I'm an engineer. Kasia is an artist. This is our joint creation.
The cutting edge of modern art. Okay. Jim LH Kasia 2000 BT.
Turajczyk.
Oh, okay.
So, what do you reckon? First impressions?
As a piece of art, I quite like it actually.
Yeah.
It's a bit sore.
full of bad puns and wordplay.
Well, I think you're going to do something with it, aren't you? So I think you're probably going to cut something off the cutting edge of modern art. Yeah.
Cutting edge of mine. Well, I know that Kasia loves humour, and that's one of the reasons that even though we just turned up because of the Open Studios last year, 2010, that actually we've become friends, and it's partly because actually she has humour and vibrancy in her art, and there you go, there it is.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this?
As a piece of art, or as something that you've as what?
Yeah, as what? Yeah.
All right. As a piece of contemporary art.
Well, it's
would
been
you
made.
Would you say it was really cutting edge?
It's a la Duchamp, you know.
No, I wouldn't say it's cutting edge.
It's not really a la Duchamp. I don't think it's a la Duchamp, because Duchamp didn't have a pun.
What I like about that is that you two have made your signatures on it, on a piece of just a tool. And the fact that you're calling it a piece of contemporary art means that it is a piece of contemporary art.
It's that simple. You just have to say
that is art.
This is contemporary art.
Yeah.
Because
but that's what contemporary art is. That is it. If you
as a
want to
person,
say
it's perfect. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But it's not about.
You're not convinced.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
But it's about, you see, that. Okay, if one function of art is to make you think, then that does make you think. If another function of art is to give pleasure, then that does give pleasure because it's funny. But if another stipulation of art is to use skill, which I know that you both have, it doesn't have any skill particularly, so it fails there. What else? And imagination, well, there's humour in it, but as a aesthetic, there's not very much imagination apart from that. So I give it, for imagination, I'd give it sort of, for imagination, aesthetic imagination, I'd give it 4. For conceptual imagination, I'd give it 7.5. For enjoyment, I'd give it a 9.5 because I like it. And for making you think, I'd give it a 9.5 as well.
That's not
And
bad
I'm not
average.
giving you 10s because I'm just a very critical person. So it's,
He gave it 10.
so I don't think you can
That was
ever
on the
ask.
basis of your
I don't.
compelling argument. Sorry,
I don't
go
think
on.
you can ever answer the question: is something good art? Because there are too many layers of what art might mean. What the problem is when money comes into it, and people like
Very interesting.
and people fund it, and therefore they call this good art and that not good art. That's why I like the open studios, because we could take, we could, as long as we decide it's art and open house.
Yeah.
I don't think there is a judgment, is there?
No, there is
I
no
don't know.
judgment at all.
So
Unless it's
that's
in
why
the
I
eye of the
like it.
beholder.
And for me that is art because it has a function beyond its manual use. You have given it a function beyond its manual use, which is something to be looked at and thought about and move someone in a way that the manual use of the saw would not. And therefore I think it's art, and it serves its function. I've got another point though.
All right, go on. The camera's
Camera's
rolling.
rolling.
Yeah.
Why don't we have to have a cutting edge? What the is that about? I'm a musician.
Okay.
If I move someone with my music, it doesn't matter whether that music was written in 1654 or at 4:54 tonight.
Yeah.
If it moves someone,
Okay.
then it's of value. So why are we constantly in modern art, music, whatever, looking for something that has to be cutting edge? What is that about? Is cutting edge about separating things off because we're cutting it from our fabric of our life experience? Whereas for me, art is actually about coming underneath our life experience and lifting us up. Carry on.
Absolutely. Art should move you. Making you giggle is
And not cut you off.
sort of a small movement maybe. There's bigger
I
movements.
think, yeah.
Well, that's one
And
part
whether
of
it's
it, isn't
music.
it?
It's
Move
a
you, make you
possible
laugh. It's
function.
as you said.
Make you think. Is that different
all
from
those
moving
things.
you?
I
It's
think
to
so. I just
Make
don't
you
think they're
cry.
all different, aren't they? Different art makes you react in different ways.
Yeah.
It's either going to make you feel sad, angry, happy, lifted, inspired. Some of those things, all of those things, none of those things.
For me, the art I enjoy affects me. I don't necessarily value it or devalue it. We've got god twins who are 4, and their paintings sometimes affect me more than Picasso or a great artist.
Or Kasia BT. Come to that.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but yeah, it's about being taken beyond something. It's about, as a viewer, I'm taken beyond. I might not, I'm sitting here and I had an experience where there was a family at the castle in Totnes where there's a lovely view, and the man said to his wife, "Oh, isn't that a lovely view?" And the child turned around and said, "Daddy, Daddy, where's the view?" So to separate art off from life, to say this is the view, this is the painting, this is the piece of music, and all of that isn't.
Yeah.
But anything that takes us beyond in a sensual, aesthetic way is valuable.
Okay, shall we take a look at this? I'm not sure if we can.
This is not finished.
Okay, we've got to show it to the camera as well.
Oh, it's got a clown in it.
Ooh, spooky. I like the bear though.
Teddy bear.
He's not spooky. He's spooky. He looks like Bat Bear.
But Enchanted is the first word that came into your head?
Magical environment.
Sort of from feels like it's maybe from your subconscious mind.
That's in Chinese
Shadow,
word for dream.
Dream, yeah, it looks like a dreamscape.
It's a little more weird. The trees like growing through it into the cosmos.
Okay.
So,
is that
just before it disappears,
okay.
I mean, you gave the cutting edge quite a high rating, but this is a very different style of art. It's still art. Do you prefer this one or the cutting edge?
I personally prefer the cutting edge.
Okay. It depends.
We did well with that one.
I can't compare them because they're two different mediums. It's like saying, do you prefer soup or ice cream? It depends.
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah. There are elements to this that I really love and prefer to the cutting edge. There are elements that don't quite totally work as well for me as the simplicity of the cutting edge. So I really like it though. I love the colours. There's a lot to it, so I could spend more time with it. Cutting edge, you can see it, you get it.
You get the joke or you don't. You move on. The cutting. Would you pay good money to have the cutting edge on your wall at home?
No. I wouldn't have any cutting edge stuff in my house, but I would have. No, because I don't think it's meant for that. I don't think it. You have something on your wall that you want to look at, that you want to enjoy.
So this fits that.
That fits better. That would fit better on my wall than the other one. Yeah. But I like the other one because of the challenge that it presents to us.
Nice. So what's the proper place for the cutting edge then? It's not on your wall at home.
Probably in a gallery. Yeah, probably in a gallery being curated by somebody who wants to present somebody with a challenge.
But not in my rucksack, wandering around the community, showing it to the first person I bump into.
Absolutely.
Oh no,
proper place for it.
No, well I think that would be a brilliant place for it because it would make members of the public consider what they think art could or might be, or what isn't. What do you mean a saw? That can't be a piece of art. And you're going, yes it can, because I'm presenting it as that. So what I really like about you having your rucksack and wandering through the world and saying this is my art, what do you think, is the fact that you're connecting with ordinary members of the public. And contemporary art very often does not connect.
You get the point.
Does not connect with ordinary members of the public, and that is why it is elitist and alienating, and it makes a lot of people angry. And that is what needs to be dealt with contemporary art, because there are certain things in contemporary art that I think are absolutely brilliant, and that sort of represents the brilliance of the possibility of it.
I just polish my head.
It does. So but there is a huge schism that needs to be dealt with, and curators aren't. They belong to a world that we don't belong to. The general public don't belong.
Well,
I'm laughing.
We'll tell you about our project in more detail.
Yeah, because
these guys
this is
have no
our
idea what this is
project
about.
Can I just say something about your saw?
Yeah.
I don't think it is. Well, of course it's contemporary art because you just made it. That's what contemporary art is, isn't it? It's art that's recently been made. But I don't think it's... The thing that I don't like I said, is that we're constantly looking for the new. But I think that is very rooted in a very old genre of cartoon. I think your
Dada,
saw,
more Dada.
Possibly Dada, but also that cartoon, which is using puns and humour and symbols that we know and are familiar with, but to subvert the image of the image to make a point.
And that's exactly why the public don't get it, or a lot of people don't get it, because of the language that you're using. Because in order to appreciate that, you have to think about what it represents. Do you know what I mean?
That's
As opposed to it just being a saw. There are other aspects that you have to consider with contemporary art, and it's not just the fact that people look at it and go, well, it's just a saw. Yes, it is a saw, but it comes with some kind of history, definition, cultural
Background.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's only because the saw is one thing, right?
Yeah, you're right.
But this is a saw with writing on it, and the writing is directive. If you presented me a saw and said, "Do you think this is the cutting edge of modern art?" If you presented a saw on your, then that would be totally different piece of art to the one you've just presented me, which has a piece of directive writing on it. And I think what I find difficult about the kind of art I think you're wanting
conceptual.
that concept is when it has no meaning. The saw, here's a saw.
Yeah, you can use it as a saw.
It's art.
Yeah.
And I go, well, I don't care, it does nothing to me, but with the comment on it, it does something to me. And when I see art, that I look at it and go, I get no meaning and no joy and no harmony.
But
why has someone paid £1 million for it, and why is it in a gallery? It's not for me to judge, but I know that I don't like it.
No.
I want meaning, I want or pleasure or
Laugh or
experience,
something,
kinesthetic experience, whatever.
You want it to move you, as you said earlier, some way, somehow.
I don't know what that means, but it takes me somewhere. But your saw, I do know what it means.
No.
So to me, it's not the same as those things that we went to. It was the Tate Modern, and I remember specifically a whole room, and in the middle of the room, there was a horse with a kind of a spear through it and some Latin. And it made me very angry because I thought it doesn't even make me feel upset or shocked. It just is totally.
we have to start to define it in a different way, that art today is just the concept. It's the documentation, not, there is not anymore about the skills, because art for me, it always will be, it's about also skills.
But
that normal old work that you have to put it in to create it.
I find the place of art in our society very difficult, visual art, because as a musician, I can open my mouth and I can sing to you.
Because we've been...
Oh.
Anywhere.
Talking too much.
I can put a CD on. You can buy a CD
Almost out?
Yeah, 15 seconds.
So I have a problem with art
15
galleries.
seconds to go?
What's an art gallery
we're going to be cut off in a minute.
Get rid of art galleries, man.
Do you like this?
Art in the environment.
Community.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's
very
lovely.
abstract.
I like it. Well, I like all different kinds of art, so...
That's lovely.
But is it finished now? Are we cut off in our prime, or are we still going?
Still going.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I thought you said
more
15
than
seconds.
15
All right,
seconds.
so guys, got 2 or 3 seconds.
Okay.
2 minutes.
What do you
Sorry,
reckon?
2 minutes to go.
Okay. That equally takes me somewhere, even though it's not, what's the word? Figurative. It takes me somewhere, and it's a landscape, and I feel it moving. So for me as well, what I personally enjoy is a sense of movement. Didge often talks about time, space, movement.
1 minute. Sorry.
Time, space, movement. Does that make you feel time, space,
Yeah, it does
movement? Where's the time?
To me, it's like a landscape with kind of almost like a sundown, and there's texture in it. So there's movement through the texture, and it's like almost like a valley. So I am seeing figurative things, even though I know it's abstract.
I see a landscape in there as well, and I see a canyon here and lovely, beautiful sky there. So I think it's an evocative piece, actually. I could sit and look at that for quite a long time and go on a journey with it. Yeah, so of all of them, that's probably something that I would probably have on my wall.
Me too.
And on my bedroom wall, because I think it would look lovely in different lights and the reflections on it and things like that. So yeah, that's aesthetically a very pleasing piece.
Yeah, the best
It
news,
reminds
this is only 1/3 of the full work.
Okay.
But we're going to run out of time.
It reminds me of the work of Ian Millstone, who paints spiritual
that's
landscapes.
right,
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we got time to say thanks,
Okay.
guys.
Thank you.
Hang on, do we get a
Do you get a sweetie?
You get a meal.
Oh,
Meal
Going to eat.
prepared by a joint effort, but mostly by Kasia.
Joints?
But we don't know.
I do a little bit. No. Like the saw, joint efforts.
All right.
Mostly Kasia's.
So did we get to see everything you wanted to show us? And have we?
Well, we haven't talked much about BAS7. I know
No, we
you've
haven't.
seen it. I don't know if you.
Well,
haven't seen it
I
yet.
haven't seen all of it, and it's actually